Making headlines. The Vice President officially inaugurates the National Single Window Trade Union. The Economic Minister reiterates the government's aim of establishing a convenient environment for businesses. And the First Lady highlights the government's commitment to ensuring that children grow up in a violence-free environment.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News in English with me, Hafizat Sattar. And now the news in detail. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif has officially inaugurated the National Single Window Trade Union at a special ceremony held at Hotel Zen.
The initiative, developed in collaboration between the Ministry of Economic Development and TradeNet Maldives, aims to provide seamless access to essential services through a single online platform. The ministry emphasized that the launch of Trade Union is a key component of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's vision to enhance facilities for local businesses. The platform will enable businesses to access services from various government agencies online, streamlining operations and increasing efficiency. Speaking at the ceremony, Managing Director of TradeNet Maldives, Saida Umar, highlighted that Trade Union is a significant government initiative aimed at creating a more convenient environment for businesses. She noted that while the platform currently offers services from the first phase of the single window, the entire system will be fully operational by the first quarter of next year. The system is set to officially go live on November 1st. Commissioner General of Customs, Fatmat Diana, also spoke at the event, emphasizing that Trade Union will serve as a convenient and transparent platform for businesses to submit relevant documents and conduct their operations. She pointed out that similar systems are utilized by several developed countries, noting that 56% of the World Trade Organization member countries use such systems. Trade Union was established following extensive consultations with the economic sector and Maldivian business leaders. TradeNet has held several comprehensive meetings to ensure that the platform meets the needs of the business community.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade, Mohammed Said, reiterates the government's aims of establishing a convenient environment for businesses. Speaking at the ceremony held to launch the National Single Window Trade Union, Minister Said lauded the government's efforts of achieving this goal despite the challenges it encountered. The minister revealed that works to establish the single window commenced in 2016, noting that the launch of its first phase of services was remarkable progress. Highlighting the government's efforts to modernize the business environment, he said that efforts are underway to introduce e-wallets and PayPal services in the Maldives. Furthermore, Minister Said stated that there are several talented young individuals in the society, noting that no efforts were previously asserted to introduce businesses to the global market. The minister revealed that the government is working to establish a green environment for businesses with the neighboring countries as well. First Lady Sajida Mohammed highlights the government's commitment to ensuring that children grow up in a violence-free environment. She made the remarks during the launch ceremony of the National Plan on Child Rights and Protection.
Speaking at the ceremony, First Lady Sajida emphasized the government's duty to create a safe environment for children. She also said that the National Plan on Child Rights and Protection is a significant step in fulfilling this responsibility, making it easier for relevant institutions to focus their efforts. Additionally, First Lady Sajida noted that the launch of the National Action Plan on the Prevention and Response to Child Violence addresses numerous issues, emphasizing that it is more than just a policy. She said that the plan serves as a comprehensive and clear roadmap for preventing, protecting against and responding to child abuse. She also said that the goal is to ensure that every child has the opportunity to grow up in a safe environment, free from violence, and develop into a responsible and resilient individual. First Lady Sajida described this initiative as the start of a crucial journey towards empowering every child in the country to thrive in a secure environment. She also underscored the importance of collective responsibility, stating that while words alone are insufficient, protecting children from abuse is a shared duty that requires everyone's collaboration.
First Lady Sajida Muhammad officially launches the National Action Plan on Prevention and Response to Violence Against Children. A comprehensive 5-year strategic plan is set to be implemented from 2024 to 2028.
The initiative aims to safeguard children across multiple key areas, including the household, school environment, society, online platforms, and through relevant authorities, with the ultimate goal of ensuring a violence-free environment for all children. The action plan includes the establishment of a system to provide direct assistance to children in need of protection and support. It also outlines the implementation of awareness programs for parents to help create a safe environment for children. Additionally, strategies will be developed to rescue children exposed to violence within the family. The plan also addresses issues related to bullying in schools, drawing on findings from academic research. At the launching ceremony, Minister of Social and Family Development, Dr. Aishat Shiham, highlighted the significant progress made in child protection in the Maldives, stressing that violence against children should not be tolerated in a developed society and called for collective efforts to address this critical issue. The minister also condemned the ongoing Israeli aggression in Palestine, drawing attention to the grave situation faced by Palestinian children who are deprived of their fundamental human rights. The National Action Plan was launched during a special ceremony attended by ministers, the representative of United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund UNICEF to the Maldives, and various organizations and administrative authorities dedicated to protecting children's rights.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Musa Zamir departs on an official visit to the United Arab Emirates UAE at the invitation of the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the UAE, Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. During this visit, Minister Zamir will engage in high-level discussions with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the UAE and other senior officials of the government of the UAE. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that the visit underscores the firm commitment of the Maldivian government to further strengthen bilateral relations between the two nations and to explore new avenues for collaboration. The official visit to the UAE is scheduled to conclude on September 4th. Minister Zamir is accompanied by Ambassador-at-Large Ahmad Nasir, Secretary Bilateral Dr. Hala Hamid, and Joint Secretary Mariam Risha. The government announces that the Foreign Direct Investment (FDI) Act will bring new benefits to the Maldives, aligning the government's investment framework with the current global climate.
The original FDI Act, which was first enacted on May 1, 1979, has been in effect for 45 years. However, it no longer aligns with the present-day global investment environment and economic conditions. The purpose of the Act is to establish guidelines for determining which sectors foreign investors can invest in within the Maldives, outline the regulations for granting investment permissions, and ensure protection and safeguards for investors. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz has approved the updated FDI Act, signaling a new chapter for foreign investment in the country. Following the approval, Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Said and Deputy Attorney General Ahmad Usham held a press conference to discuss the implications of the updated law. Speaking at the press, Minister Said highlighted that the new law is designed to enhance investor confidence in the Maldives and facilitate access to financing from banks and financial institutions. He also noted that the Act supports the adoption of an investment protection promotion agreement which will further secure and promote foreign investments. Minister Said emphasized the government's commitment to expand in the role of FDI in stimulating economic growth. He stated that President Dr. Muiz is dedicated to implementing significant economic reforms aimed at broadening business opportunities, promoting a sustainable business environment, boosting trade, and improving the ease of doing business in the Maldives. The minister also pointed out that these reforms include plans to develop the real estate sector into a thriving industry. Deputy Attorney General Ahmad Usham acknowledged that while the original law was effective at the time of its enactment, updates were necessary to meet current needs.
The Ministry of Housing, Land and Urban Development announces that 648 individuals have received land plots under the Bima housing scheme.
A total of 1,351 plots have been allocated in Hurumale through the scheme. When the current government assumed office, only 11 plots had been distributed. Since then, the ministry has successfully handed over 648 of the 1,351 allocated plots. Initially, the allocation of land plots in Hurumale under the Bima scheme was conducted hastily without proper preparation, leading to delays in handing them over to the recipients. However, the current government has resumed the process, ensuring that the plots in Hurumale are cleared, prepared and connected to the necessary road infrastructure. Some plots are also being integrated into the underground networks for public services. The remaining plots will be handed over once these preparations are complete. The Bima scheme plans to allocate a total of 1,351 land plots in Hurumale, 2,218 plots in Gulifaru, and 5,432 plots in Girawaru. The government has already transferred 1,096 plots to Gulifaru, which will be handed over once the land reclamation and public service infrastructure are established.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Welfare, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation, holds discussions on improving the transportation of farmers' produce via air cargo. The meeting was attended by Minister of Agriculture and Animal Welfare, Dr. Aishat Ramila, and Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Muhammad Amin. During the discussions, the Ministry of Agriculture highlighted the significant challenges farmers face in transporting fruits and vegetables to markets, particularly via air cargo. The ministry sought solutions to streamline this process and make it more efficient. In response, the Ministry of Transport pledged its support and committed to assisting in facilitating the air transportation of agricultural produce. The government has acknowledged that transporting agricultural commodities across the country has become increasingly difficult, especially during adverse weather conditions. The Ministry of Tourism reveals the total number of tourist arrivals to the Maldives has reached to 1.35 million.
The daily updates report released by the ministry indicates that this is a remarkable 10.5% increase compared to the tourist arrival during the same period last year. While a total of 1,359,208 tourists have visited the Maldives by the end of August, last year saw the arrival of 1,230,081 tourists. The statistics show that the tourist arrivals has continued to increase after experiencing a declining rate in the arrival. Furthermore, it highlights that Chinese tourists made up the largest portion of arrivals so far this year, with 198,704 visitors. Following China, the top sources of tourists include Russia with 147,185 visitors, the United Kingdom with 117,582 arrivals, Italy with 101,189 visitors, and Germany with 96,183 arrivals. On an average, 5,682 tourists arrive to the Maldives daily, with the majority staying for a 7-day period. The consistent influx of tourists have motivated the government to set an ambitious target of attracting 2 million tourists by the end of the year. This goal can be accomplished with the arrival of additional 636,691 tourists.
The National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, reports that the adverse weather conditions in August caused damages to households amounting to over $64,800. According to the Maldives Meteorological Service, the torrential downpours experienced last month are expected to continue until December. The heavy rainfall led to flooding in several islands, including Male City, resulting in significant damage to numerous homes. The NDMA reported that 89 houses across 10 islands were severely affected by the rainfall, which began on August 8 and persisted until the end of the month. The total estimated losses amount to $70,309. The NDMA also highlighted its ongoing efforts to provide assistance to affected households in Horafushi, Uligan, Ihavandu, Kela and Barang in Halif Atoll, Edafushi in Ba Atoll and Hitadu and Fedu in Atu City. Maldives Marketing and Public Relations Corporation MMPRC is seeking a potential agency to represent the Maldives in Germany for a one-year period. This initiative aims to increase the number of tourists arriving to the Maldives from Germany. MMPRC stated that interested agencies can submit their proposals before September 19th. While the corporation has decided on a monthly budget of $3,600 for the project, it stated that the agencies proposing for the project must have relevant experience during the past 5 years. Agencies who do not have experience or submit the proposals without any referral documents will be disqualified. Additionally, MMPRC stated that the agencies submitting proposals must also be well aware of the tourism industry of the Maldives. Germany stands at the 5th position out of the top 10 market sources of tourist arrivals to the Maldives. German automotive giant Volkswagen says it could take the unprecedented move to close production sites in Germany and threatened further job cuts as its savings plans stalled.
Rising costs at the car maker were cutting into profits, leaving Volkswagen facing particularly significant challenges, the group said in an internal memo seen by AFP. Volkswagen said in the note sent to employees that in the current situation, even plant closures at vehicle production and component sites can no longer be ruled out. Unions and government officials responded with alarm to the idea of plant closures in the group's home market, a decision never before taken by Volkswagen. The announcement by one of Germany's blue-chip companies adds to concerns for Chancellor Olaf Scholz after the domestic economy has struggled in recent months. Volkswagen CEO Oliver Blume was quoted as saying in the memo that the European automotive industry is in a very demanding and serious situation. Blume said that the economic environment became even tougher and new competitors are entering the European market. He added that the difficulties were particularly acute in Germany, which is falling further behind in terms of competitiveness as a manufacturing location. The CEO said that the company must now act decisively. Volkswagen last year announced plans for €10 billion savings program and has flagged cuts to its workforce over the coming years to improve profitability. But the group said further measures were now required after disappointing results published in August that showed a dip in profits. Rising costs and cooling demand in China also meant the group had to lower its profit margin forecasts for the rest of the year. Despite the cost-saving measures already announced, the current developments in the automotive market and the German economy demand further action. The company's board had determined that the brands within Volkswagen AG must undergo comprehensive restructuring. The need for greater reductions in staff meant that the company was compelled to terminate a job protection agreement that had been in place for the last 3 decades. Workers' representatives reacted angrily to the announcement, saying that they would resist the changes at the car maker. Volkswagen's board had failed, Works Council chairwoman Daniela Cavallo said in a statement published by the union IG Metall.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faces mounting international and domestic pressure after the killing in Gaza of 6 captives, with U.S. President Joe Biden saying he is not doing enough to secure the release of hostages.
Britain said it would suspend some arms exports to Israel, citing a clear risk that they could be used in a serious breach of international humanitarian law. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said he was deeply disheartened by London's decision, while the Premier said he sought forgiveness for failing to save the latest hostages killed. Hamas will pay a very heavy price for this, he said during a televised press conference, as he rejected making any concessions in Gaza ceasefire talks. Abu Ubaidah, spokesman for Hamas's armed wing, the Izzuddin al-Qassam brigades, said remaining hostages would return inside coffins if Israel maintains its military pressure on Gaza. The statement said new instructions had been given to militants guarding the captives on what to do if Israeli troops approached. In Washington, Biden met U.S. negotiators working alongside Qatar and Egypt to try to secure a truce deal that would free the remaining hostages in Gaza in return for Palestinian prisoners held in Israel. Asked by reporters if he thought Netanyahu was doing enough to secure a deal for the release of hostages, Biden replied no. Netanyahu said Israel must retain control of the key Philadelphia corridor on the Gaza-Egypt border, a significant sticking point in negotiations. Hamas has to make the concession, said Netanyahu, whose critics have accused him of prolonging the war to stay in power. Israelis were gripped by grief and fury after the military said the bodies of 6 hostages, all captured alive during Hamas's October 7th attack on southern Israel that triggered the war, were recovered from southern Gaza. A strike announced by the trade union seeking a hostage deal brought parts of Israel to a standstill, although some cities were largely unaffected.
Uruguay striker Luis Suarez announces his international retirement, ending a 17-year career with his national team, is the top scorer with 69 goals.
The 37-year-old, who has 142 caps for his country, made his international debut in 2007 and was key in the squad that reached the semi-finals of the 2010 World Cup and won the Copa America a year later. Speaking at a press conference, Suarez said that Friday will be his last match with his country's national team. Uruguay take on Paraguay at the Centenario Stadium in Montevideo on Friday in the South American qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup before facing Venezuela 4 days later. Suarez scored the stoppage time goal against Canada that secured 3rd place at the Copa America in July, and the striker added that one of his aims was to show he could continue to contribute to the national team. He said that his dream was for his children to see him win something important with the national team, adding that the last goal was very nice for them even though it wasn't a trophy to take home. He said that he wanted to show people again that he can continue to contribute to the national team, and Suarez has already said Inter Miami will be his last club after joining the Major League Soccer side last year to reunite with former Barcelona teammates Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant day ahead.
දිවි රාජ්‍යයේ ෆහුරුවරි කවුමේ දුවස්